back today with another proficiency vocabulary video, and it's a very, very useful one for you. In the courtroom. So for any of you that are doing your ECPE exam, there's lots of words for you here. They love legal words in the ECPE. Or for people who like watching all these series like CSI, NCIS, Law and Order, all this kind of terminology you'll have heard in these series. So in the courtroom, as you can see in the picture here, this is the courtroom. They decide, you have a judge, some lawyers, and they decide basically who's right, who's wrong, or who's guilty and who is innocent. And if you're really in trouble, there's also a jury, which is the 12 people, I think there's 12 of them, who decide whether you are innocent or guilty. So, a unanimous verdict or decision, to raise an objection, to abstain from, to post bail, the prosecution and the defense, inadmissible evidence, and the stand. Ooh, sounds scary. So, the first one here. As you can see, there's someone behind bars. Alright, and this brings us to our first word, a unanimous verdict. So, if, for example, there's like a murder trial and the jury find or vote unanimously that you are guilty, in other words, they all agree basically that you are guilty, bye-bye, you're going to jail for rather a long time, or worse. So they agreed unanimously that he was guilty of the crime. So if something is unanimous, everybody is in agreement. You can also use this in a meeting. We agree unanimously. Aha! Objection, Your Honor. I guarantee for anyone who loves these courtroom dramas, you will hear this. Lawyer's favorite term. When one lawyer is speaking, the other lawyer will often interrupt and say, objection, Your Honor. And this means that you are disagreeing with something someone said. My lawyer raised an objection as to what the other lawyer said. So, in the next one, something is not happening here. Something's okay. Abstain from a vote. So if you abstain, maybe politicians always do this, although there's a lot of debate about whether they should be allowed to abstain from a vote, because it's kind of their job to vote. But sometimes, or for one reason or another, there may be a vote taking place and you basically don't want to participate in it. And that's what abstain means, to not participate. You don't want to get involved. I don't want to vote, so I've decided to abstain from this vote. Or, I don't think members of Parliament should be allowed to abstain from a vote. It's their duty to have an opinion. Money. Woo! Alright, so to post bail. So if you're posting bail, you are kind of paying money so you don't have to stay in jail. What they'll do if you're posting bail as well is they'll usually take your passport and IDs and things so you don't leave the country. And if they think that you are a flight risk, this won't even be an option for you. So to pay money so you don't have to stay in jail. It doesn't mean that you pay money and that's the end of it. You still have to go to court and things like that. So the judge set bail at $10,000. So you can imagine people, if they have the money, pay the $10,000 so they can stay, in their own home rather than the jail, and they still have to come into court. They still could be found innocent or guilty. Okay, so bail isn't always granted. This is something that your lawyer will ask the judge for, and he may or may not get it, of course. He didn't want to spend time in jail, so he decided to post bail, is the expression. Alright, so here is a classic courtroom. You can see here the American flag in the background, so I'm guessing it's stateside. The prosecution. Okay, so the prosecution is either a lawyer or a group of lawyers who pretty much are against you. Okay, they're the guys who are trying to prove that you are guilty of something or negligent or whatever. The prosecution tried to convince the jury that he was lying. So in a murder case, for example, these are the lawyers trying to persuade the jury that the defendant, whoever he may be, is guilty of the murder. And on the other hand, you have the defense, and this is the lawyer or group of lawyers who are trying to prove that the defendant did not commit the murder. The people who are trying to protect you. The defense had one final effort to prove that he didn't commit the crime. And finally, evidence. Oh yes, in a court of law, evidence is very, very important. So inadmissible evidence means that evidence that cannot be used in a court of law. And evidence can either be inadmissible. There's two ways I can think of. There's probably more. I'm not a lawyer. But firstly, if the lawyers don't write it down and inform the other lawyers that they have it, you have to do this. You can't just go, surprise, and just spring it on them. That's a no-no. And also, if the police don't have the proper documentation or search warrant to come into your house and they illegally obtain evidence, it cannot be used in a court of law against you. Alright, so they never had a search warrant, so the evidence is inadmissible in court. Aha, the stand. To take the stand. This means that you are a witness and you are going to, you can see here the chair in the background, this is where the judge sits, and a little chair there with a microphone, and this is where the witnesses or people who are testifying sit to give your account or opinion of what happened. So maybe you saw something or witnessed something, you would take the stand. And this is where, you know, they give you the Bible, and or is it the Bible or a book of law? I don't know. But this is where they say, I promise to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God, stuff like that. And if you're caught lying, you're in trouble. The main witness for the defense was about to take the stand. Alright, so there's the first part of the law terminology or courtroom words that you're going to hear. There's another 2 parts coming. Thank you very, very much for watching and enjoy your crime series. Bye for now.